Okay, so I'm standing here with Mr. Jim Moir, who's going to be starring in Coronation Street in the weeks ahead. Tell me, Jim, when does your association with Coronation Street date back to, and why this show did you want to be in it?
Well, it goes right back to when it first started, and one of my earliest memories is watching Corrie with my mother in Leeds. In I don't know, it's got to be, when did it start? 61?
60, December 60, yeah.
Well, I reckon I must have been about 3, so it's very early infancy.
Yeah.
And because it's been with me forever. And
what is it that appeals to you about it, though? What is it that has kind of made it sustain 50 odd years?
I don't know. Well, I've always been a fan of kitchen sink drama. Like the films, the films of the 50s and 60s, and
Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, especially if they're set in the north. And the writing is just so good on this, and it's got that brilliant mix of heavy drama and high comedy. Mm-hmm. So it's got everything that I'm interested in.
And if you could name top 3 characters from the years gone by?
Enid Sharples, Minnie Caldwell, Len Fairclough.
Yeah. Why those 3 in particular?
I just Minnie Caldwell and Enid Sharples, that dynamic between them, which they kind of hated each other but they loved each other, and I'm going way back, so far back that most people won't remember that. And then Len Fairclough was the kind of
unreconstructed male, wasn't he, in a way?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about Saturday night and Sunday morning,
yeah,
that's about as near as you're going to get on the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Corrie always had that kind of streak of theatricality to it as well, which I don't think maybe Billy Liar and the likes of those kind of things had.
What do you mean, wordsmithness?
And music hall kind of appeal.
Well, it's got that, and that comes across in the writing, and the writing I don't think you could see anywhere else.
Yeah.
It kind of, on Corrie, it seems to blend seamlessly into real life, but it's so flowery and fruity, some of the language, that you would never use it in. I've got some brilliant lines like that. I've got Mary's got she's got a lot of those lines. Peter Gunn's got some good flowery lines, and I've got the rest of them. I've got what's left over.
Well, it's kind of like real life, but with a little bit more wise, isn't it? I always think it's a bit more witty than what I could manage in real life.
It's real life with a touch of Oscar Wilde.
That's right. And tell me how your association came about then. Did you get asked in specific?
Asked initially by Stuart Blackburn, who initially asked me, and then Kate Oates asked me later on, and I was just ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any input over who you would be acting alongside? Because you're obviously a fan of Mary. Yeah,
I didn't have a clue. I didn't. When I first got asked by Stuart Blackburn, I told my wife, and she said, "Oh, you could be Norris's son," and I sort of mentioned that to him, and so I think people sort of that got out somewhere, but I had no idea what the character was until I turned up.
Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
You hadn't had an outline at all as to what you'd be doing?
Kind of, yeah, but it was near to the knuckle. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I've really worked out what Colin was about until yesterday.
So it's seat of the pants stuff, really.
Well, yeah, kind of work out what he's about. I think it takes you to get a proper grip on a character. You've got to do the character for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have worked out what he's like by the time I leave.
And is it a fixed time that you're here for then?
I'm here for 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, but then I disappear, not in a bad way, so I could probably come back.
Has it lived up to your expectations?
Absolutely, yeah. It's exactly what I expected. It's great. It's great being on this street, which is iconic, and I'd heard people say, "Oh, you've got to be right on top of your lines. You've got to." And that is absolutely true. You get right on top of your lines, you go in, you do it, you do your scene, and then you get out. Mm-hmm. It's a great way of working as well. I mean, I've worked on things where you got one camera and you're just there all day doing one scene that's 30 seconds long, and in here, you get in, you do it from 2 angles, and you get out and get on the next scene.
Is there anybody who you're dying to have a scene with?
Well, I did a tiny scene with Roy Cropper last week, and I've got a bigger scene. I've got a good scene I'm looking forward to next week with him.
And do you think that, these actors, they're so skilled. With David Neilson, that's a proper performance that he's giving there. Do you think that they're underrated, the actors on this show?
I think any soap actor's probably underrated, because you see them all the time. and there's nothing to like pinpoint them. You know, it's kind of I wouldn't say a thankless task, but it should be thanked more. You know, because they do brilliant work, but you see it all the time, so it kind of it's a gloss that doesn't have any peaks.
And have you found acclimatising, working with Malcolm and Patty, and you know, was the chemistry there straight away?
Yeah, I think it really was. I came in, I was absolutely welcomed straight away, and you know, got on. We all got on really well.
Would you consider coming back then after the 3 months?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, I know how it goes, and I know that I could come back. So.
A longer stint maybe in the future.
Yeah, well, no, I think this stint's long enough for me. Then I can go and do other things.
Yeah. And have you brought Nancy along to see the street?
Yeah, she came and had a look on a pouring day, and took a picture outside there.
Yeah. Do you almost wish it could still be in black and white?
I do. I would like that, but I don't know if it is. I wouldn't. I don't think other people might agree. The old, because this is the new street. The old street at Granada is now all covered in weeds and
it's like the zombie apocalypse, isn't it?
That's exactly what I said, because I was saying to Patty, because we were looking through a door, I said, look at that, I said you should do a zombie special at Christmas.
Who could they bring back?
Well, yeah, bring everyone back.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, you can do anything, you know, with animatronics. Or CGI, you get bringing the sharples back.
I'm going to start a petition now for you to be the next producer of Corrie. I think, Jim, that would be ideal.